This is game number 3. The session this is Kathy Rain 2 Soothsayer, published by Raw Fury. I received the key to play this one from Lurkit, so this is another sponsor game. If you guys interested, feel free to type !G or game in the chat room. Thank you. Enjoy the stream, enjoy the broadcast. Thank you. Tadi ngomong apa ya? Ada yang mau aku bilang. Apa ya tadi mau dibilang? Oh ya, ngomong-ngomong, waktu itu kan nggak jadi beli itu ya, exhaust fan. Jadinya kayak kepikiran mungkin mau nabung beli AC kalau bisa. Kalau bisa ya. Anjay, kenapa anjay? Kayaknya lebih mending aku beli AC daripada aku beli exhaust fan. Mungkin ya kepikirannya begitu kak. Tapi nggak tahu ya apakah jadi atau tidak. Do you want to see a recap? Yes. Mending beli AC yang portable. Tapi aku baca.
In 1995, my grandfather died in Conwell Springs, my hometown. I returned for the funeral after being away since childhood.
Tapi aku baca katanya mending beli yang apa ya, yang di dinding sekali daripada yang portable. Gitu kan?
I learned that my grandpa had been investigating strange occurrences surrounding a mysterious presence in the forest. However, something happened to him in the woods, putting him in a vegetative state for over a decade.
Vegetative state? What does it mean? AC portable gas? Aku baca katanya, kemarin ada yang nge-share. Bentar ya. Kemarin ada yang nge-share di Twitter. Dia nge-review AC Xiaomi gitu loh. Jadi aku bookmark, terus aku baca-baca lagi. Terus aku coba cari. Katanya kalau yang AC 1 PK begitu mending tidak cocok kayaknya di ruangan dan dengan daya sekarang. Jadi kayaknya mending beli AC yang setengah PK begitu kak. Terus dibandingkan AC yang portable, katanya AC yang di dinding lebih oke dari segi listrik dan segala macam. Begitu kak. Kemarin jadi ngereset singkat. Mending beli AC yang setengah PK lebih baik di dinding daripada beli yang portable, katanya begitu. Tapi aku belum tanya-tanya lagi. Di sini ada tempat namanya rumah AC. Bentar ya. Mungkin nanti kalau misalnya ada dana mungkin ke sana aku nanti nanya-nanya kak. Minta tolong pasang segala macam juga, diskusi. Begitu. Sudah. Itu ya, tapi aku belum tahu lebih lanjut lagi nanti ke depannya gimana. Karena belinya mahal kak.
To solve this mystery, I teamed up with Eileen Summers, my college roommate. A Christian nerd and a biker badass. It was a match made in heaven. A local church turned out to harbor a secret cult worshipping the malevolence in the woods, referring to it as the Old God. An endangered hallucinogenic flower, the red scythe, was somehow connected to the Old God's power. As we came closer to the truth, a servant of the Old God made himself known in dreams and visions, the Crimson One, a scheming trickster.
AC jendela rewa juga lumayan tuh. Apa tuh?
Things came to a head when the priest of the corrupt church, Isaac Price, abducted Eileen, intending to offer her to the Old God. I managed to track them down and have Isaac thrown in jail, but Eileen was in a catatonic state and was about to suffer the same fate as my grandfather. I continued alone and found my way into a great field of red scythes in the depths of the forest. Greeted by the Crimson One, I descended into the Old God's bizarre realm, a place straddling the line between the physical and the otherworldly. The powers of that place tried to break me. My past trauma was manifested and turned against me, including my shadow, an evil doppelganger. I defeated these foes and emerged back into the real world. As I left Conwell Woods, I set the flowers ablaze to eradicate the evil at its root.
Ah iya, tahu Jo. Di depanku ini kantor UT sebenarnya Jo. Universitas terbuka gitu loh, dan ada AC. Aku bisa ngelihat mereka pakai AC gitu loh. Tapi sebenarnya nggak kenapa-kenapa seharusnya sih. Tempatku bisa dibilang mungkin aman. Apa itu AC jendela Reiwa? Atau aku langsung masuk saja karena aku belum pernah main Catherine 1 ya. AC jendela Reiwa. Oh, aku lihat ini Kak. Ya. AC nggak harus masang alter the symbol jadi satu. Ku buka dulu lah, nanti ku buka lagi lah pas break. Kemarin kayaknya aku lihat tapi aku nggak terlalu baca dengan baik. Terima kasih Mi.
In my absence, Isaac Price took the coward.
The game is intended for mature audiences and contain graphic depiction of horror, explicit violence, suicide, and other disturbing imagery. Oke, boleh yang Reiwa. Oke. Sebenarnya kepikiran itu Jo. Paling kalau bisa dibobol mungkin bobok di bagian ventilasi mungkin. Ini aku tadi mulai jam berapa ya? 1:10 kira-kira. Aku main sampai jam berapa ya?
We're closed.
Jam 2 lah ya. Pas banget dia babak terus ngorok.
For fuck's sake.
Hey, kid.
Oh, Lucas.
Gee, what happened to you? Looks like somebody's been through the ringer.
You should mind your own business, old man, before I bring up your ex-wife.
Hey now, I'm just looking out for a former student of mine. And you're always my business.
Oh, I bet I am. That's the only way a has-been like you could ever stay relevant.
Ha! Yeah, that must be it. Now, you gonna invite me in and just let me stand here like an asshole?
Fine, come in then. You want some coffee?
I got enough, old sis, thank you very much. That brew you make is rancid.
Oh, I did that on purpose. I wanted to do detective work, not dumb chores like some air-brained secretary.
Feigning incompetence, huh? Clever move.
I guess so. I just wish that shrewdness of mine could make me some money.
There's my segue. Did you hear the news on the Soothsayer?
I never took you for a sucker, Lucas. This is Cassidy. There's no way that reward is legit.
You're wrong. Mayor Adams is different. He's the real deal.
And you know this how exactly?
Well, because it just so happens that I was hired to find dirt on the guy. I got nada. Zip. He's a total Boy Scout.
Whatever. We're still talking about a serial killer. Do I look suicidal to you?
Kinda. You're passed out at noon, stinking of booze, and that eviction notice hanging over your head isn't doing you any favors.
That's none of your concern. I'm handling it. I just need a goddamn case. A normal case. Free of homicidal maniacs.
Don't know what to tell you, kid. Things are looking kinda dry on that front, you dig?
Oh, God. Please don't try to sound hip, Lucas. Your Dick Tracy imitation is cringeworthy enough.
And I suppose you could always pawn off that bike of yours. Buy you another month or two.
Tell him, Mildred. Lose the Catmobile? I'd rather chop off my left tit.
I may be a has-been, but I'm fairly sure that self-mutilation won't do you much good. A couple $100K, on the other hand.
I love money just as much as the next girl, but, I mean, this isn't just a long shot. It's about as likely as Mildred turning vegan and taking up juggling.
Come on, one more case, for old time's sake. 50-50 split. How could anyone beat my rugged charm and your youthful vigor?
Lucas, We both know you're about as charming as a clown at a funeral. And the last time I saw my vigor was 3 tequila bottles ago.
All right. I know what I'm beat. I'll drop it.
Look, thanks for the tip. I might actually take a shot at that bounty, but you need to accept that we're not a team anymore. We had a good run, but I have my own thing going. Look, see? My name is on the frosted glass and everything.
I can respect that. You're not allergic to a little quid pro quo from time to time, though, are you?
Now, that I can do. That's how the world works anyway. It's all just an endless circle jerk of quid pro fucking quo.
I don't quite see things that way, but my door is always open if you'd like to discuss the case.
Sure. May the best woman win.
You telling me I'd look good in a dress? Later, kid.
Bye, Lucas.
Halo Kak Ye. Ini voice overnya panjang sekali ya. Bentar ya.
Well, it's not like I have anything better to do. I should have information on the Soothsayer somewhere in this room.
Halo Kak Ye, malam. Malam. Selamat malam, selamat datang. Tapi gak tahu kenapa ya, kira aku nggak yakin. Mungkin tadi dia bilang mereka rekomendasiin buat main. Ini kan Cathy Rain 2. Aku kan Cathy Rain 1 belum main ya, dan tadi dia bilang dia merekomendasikan main Cathy Rain 1 dulu sebelum main 2. Terus aku apakah mau nonton recap dulu, tapi aku tadi langsung skip aja soalnya kelamaan dan panjang. Dan banyak itu ya, banyak bahasa yang vulgar. Begitu kan bilangnya. Yang tidak family friendly. Kamu udah main Clear Option itu belum sih? Baru sekali Kak Ye. Tapi belum lanjut lagi soalnya mereka sampai sekarang belum update FSR. Jadi baru ada di DLSS dan TSR dan Intel. Terus di sisi lain lucunya nge-crash. Jadi aku belum tahu kapan mau main lagi. Kenapa tuh? Rencana mau dimasukin game reguler. Jadi selesai satu game yang reguler nanti aku ganti itu. Tapi belum lanjut lagi. Nggak akan update lagi itu mas. Kita nggak perlu sih. Duitnya dari mana? Ya agak bingung. Di discussion page orang-orang juga nanya kapan nih ada FSR-nya. Kok sampai sekarang nggak ada begitu loh. Saya udah optimal kayak rasa. Ya wes nanti lah kayaknya aku cari-cari lagi kak. Aku belum akan main lama tuh dekat kayaknya. Paling nanti kalau udah selesai baru main lagi. Rencana mau dimasukin ke itu sih, ke dalam reguler. Punya PC Om juga coba bang.
Maybe there's something about the killings in these papers.
Tidak bisa kak, jauh kak. Gak bakal udah nonton juga kak.
Alright, I found a few interesting articles about the most recent murder. What bills? Never saw those. Nope, no siree.
Si Jo kan pakai
Thanks
laptop.
for the headache, you Mexican jerk.
Dia tidak punya PC kak, jadi cuma pakai laptop. Dua.
The city we're in, unfortunately. Empty. All this gumshoe has left upon is her dignity. My biggest fan, as depressing as that is.
Kenapa roti?
Various reference books and technical manuals. Thankfully, I don't need to make any calls right now. Every time I pick that thing up, I pray there's still a dial tone. An article in the Chicago Tribune about the Whitmore affair. My big breakthrough case last year. I've been meaning to get it framed, but I've been too busy with important things. You know, like drinking alone.
Ini sekalian pamer, nge-resubscribe tapi nggak kasih tahu kalau ada notifnya begitu kak Ti? Terima kasih kak.
When there's new messages, it blinks. It's high-tech like that. The yellow pages. Handy for looking up people and businesses. Huh.
Aku udah lama gak mainan emot, kenapa sih? Tapi ya begitu kak. Terus mukaku juga dibikin emot sama si Shu Galaxy.
Just outdated casework. Can't bring myself to take them down.
Tuh kayaknya lagi nyari anak, tapi anaknya kan sudah tiada ya basically.
I should
Masih
grab this in
nyari-nyari
case I
kayaknya.
need to snap some shots.
Kayaknya masih nyari-nyari anak itu keluar kak. Sebentar ya, coba aku lihat pintu. Kalau misalnya minta dibuka, aku keluarin aja. Betul, kayaknya nyari anak keluar, sudah di depan pintu tadi menunggu. Terus aku keluarkan. Long story short, ada di Instagram saya kak ringkasannya kenapa saya berbicara seperti itu. Soalnya kucingnya membawa anaknya masing-masing keluar. Pulang-pulang tidak ada lagi anaknya. Terus nyari.
It's a
Salah
plastic
saya.
laminator, a machine used to encase paper and other thin objects in transparent plastic. I mainly use it for fake IDs.
Apakah salah saya? Ya tentu bukan. Aku pun bingung kenapa.
My private investigator's license issued last year. I couldn't have been more wrong though. That old fart has been nothing but supportive since then.
Mau cari kemana Jo? Masalahnya dia dibawanya anaknya keluar Jo. Kan ada dua ya induknya di rumah dan satu masing-masing ngebawa anaknya keluar. Yang satu dibawa ke satu tempat, aku nggak tahu di mana. Satu lagi dibawa ke ujung sana dan aku nggak tahu kemana. Namanya kucing betina, jangan selalu salah. Kok aku? Terus tadi pagi dikabari sama tetangga, kayaknya satu meninggal anaknya, satu lagi nggak tahu di mana, apakah masih ada atau tidak. Kalau yang ini kemarin nggak pulang, anaknya satu, sisa satu dibawa pulang kemarin ke rumah lagi. Terus tadi pagi nggak ada lagi anaknya. Kucing pasti gitu, kalau ngerasa kamu masih dipindah-pindah. Mungkin begitu kak. Makanya aku nulis, mungkin rumahku nggak kerasa kayak rumah lagi bagi mereka. Ini senyum sedih. Tapi ya gimana ya, mau aku nggak bisa ngapa-ngapain juga kak, bingung sendiri saya.
My radio, with a built-in cassette player. I prefer the quiet right now. Mildred's abode. Who's the best fluff ball? Couldn't agree more. Nothing out there but a brick wall and a...
So the Soothsayer thing that I'm supposed to look for is where? I don't know. Wow, banyaknya.
Yeah, I figured the room needed some extra groove. I wish, but if I don't shape up and get some work done, I'm gonna end up sleeping somewhere way less comfy.
Kathy will automatically go to bed when you have completed all daily tasks. Okay. Foto.
Eileen and me, we worked great together, didn't we? I shouldn't need to bring that.
So the Soothsayer thing I'm supposed to look for? What is that?
Alright, I think that's everything I've got on Deborah in here. When I'm ready to leave, I should be able to learn more about the other victims at the library.
Huh. Okay. So should I just go?
I call her Jude.
Okay.
So apparently if there's a fire, I'm supposed to run through those gigantic double doors 10 feet away. Phew, I'm saved. Hi, I need some help, please.
Of course. How can I be of assistance?
What do you know about Deborah Sinclair?
Quite a bit. Do you have a more specific line of inquiry?
Wow. Wait a second.
Thanks. I'll come back if I have more questions.
Very well.
Ooh.
Good luck.
As a librarian, this guy read. Deborah Sinclair. At the age 49, the one and only Deborah Sinclair was tragically taken from us. She was stabbed to death on May 8 in her iconic cabin. The chilling signature mirror left on the scene made it clear that she had become yet another Soothsayer victim. We are told by sources in the Cassidy Police Department that there was no sign of break-in and no item of value were stolen. The cause of death came as no surprise: acute blood loss caused by sharp force trauma. The circumstances surrounding this crime are strikingly similar to the original casualty of the Soothsayer, Rose Taylor, also a middle-aged woman stabbed to death in her home. This makes 5 victims in 3 months. The lack of result on the case is something to anger the citizens of Cassidy. I'll be the first to admit that I hope to see swifter progress concerning this killing. We plan to evaluate more radical measures in the coming weeks. Okay. Itu dulu mbah. Oke. Selamat beristirahat kak. Selamat tidur. Have a good rest. Have a good sleep. Deborah Sinclair was a longtime friend of the Gazette and led a prolific life with more than 30 novels published during her lifetime. On this sad day, we mourn the loss of a cultural icon and we pray that her death will be the last at the hands of the vile Soothsayer. Okay. What am I supposed to ask him?
One more thing.
Yes?
Can I pick your brain about Deborah Sinclair again?
Sure. What are you curious about?
What kind of books did Deborah write?
She dabbled in many different genres over the years, but her main bulk of work could probably be defined as horror, mystery, or a combination of the two. Afflicted, Dead Ends Meet, and the Jenny Payne trilogy are some of her most well-known titles.
Huh, okay. Was she working on a new book when she died?
I believe so, yes. But I don't have any details to share.
What do you know about Deborah's private life?
She had quite an interesting life. Adopted as a child, and her adoptive father, Sebastian Willis Sinclair, was an accomplished author in his own right. Deborah's birth mother was a young homeless woman, and her father was a Native American. Deborah spent much of her life trying to track down her biological father, unsuccessfully. Perhaps in some part due to her roots, Deborah's books have often contained subject matter inspired by Native American religion. She was childless and unmarried when she passed away. Rumors say she was gay, but God knows tabloids are quick to jump to conclusions. I don't think she ever clarified that matter to the public. If you are curious to learn more, I would highly recommend her acclaimed autobiography, Unbound.
Oh, I might check that out. Thanks for the information. What do you know about the murder?
I believe she was killed at her writer's retreat, stabbed to death. The police say the MO was similar to the other victims, with the shattered mirror and all that.
Where's this writer's retreat located exactly?
There's an area called Bear Creek, just on the border of the national park. Sinclair owned a small cabin there.
All right, got it. That's a decent drive, so I think I'll head out there tomorrow.
Okay. So for now, I should just continue exploring this area then.
I'm looking to find some information on the Soothsayer.
Ah. Quite a few people have taken an interest in that case lately.
That's so. Well, I'm not scared of a little competition. So, you got anything for me?
Yes. I would direct you to the microfilm viewer at the end of the hall. We have full scans of all of the major newspapers dating all the way back to the 50s.
Perfect. I should be able to browse those for some articles about the murders.
Indeed. If I may ask, what is your own interest in the case?
You probably heard there's a reward, right? I'm a PI, and money is tight, so...
I see. I suppose we each have our own ways to make a living.
Okay.
Thanks. I'll come back if I have more questions.
Very well. Good luck.
A workstation for the librarian. A bunch of magazines.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, the shelf. This is the end of hall. Okay. What am I supposed to look at, yeah? This microfilm shelf, but I don't know which one I'm supposed to look at.
Microfilms containing images of scanned newspapers. They're organized by calendar date.
Ooh, wow. Should I take a look at something? Or should I Google? Unbound. Stephen Collin. Can I search for author? Surname Collins. Mauve affair. Botched bank robbery told by a group of unreliable narrator. In this captivating story about a bank robber, a nurse held hostage, a journalist, and hostage negotiator, Colin masterfully weaves his twists and turns, always keeping the reader at the edge of the seat. Ghostwritten chapter by several other authors. Okay, is it available? Unavailable. This is 7/2/1990. Should I read some note, yeah? The Mauve affair. 7/2 Feb 1990. There's also Unbound. Unbound was 10/4/1996. 10/4/1996. 6. It's currently 1998.
Okay, let's see here. It would take ages to look through all the microfilms since the killings began, so maybe I can figure out on what date the murder prior to Deborah's occurred. Hopefully I can deduce the date of the previous murder from the articles I picked up at the office. When I have a good date written down, I can view the corresponding microfilm and look for useful information. Alright, I've got a date written down. I can use that to find the corresponding microfilm.
This is 25 January. May 8. May 8, 1998. May 11. May 8. May 13. Oh, I have to do this one by one. It's May 8. Second. May 8 step. May 11 mine close. May 13. What happened in May 13? Oh, article. May 8.
Ah, looks like there are no microfilms at all for the month of May. I guess that makes sense. It's the current month, and they probably scan the papers on a monthly rolling basis. Microfilms containing images. Microfilm.
Malam Ome, selamat datang, selamat malam. Loyal reader of Sinclair may realize that the previous victim, Janda, was slain on the publication anniversary of Storm Chaser, one of Sinclair's classic novel. One of the previous victim, Jane Doe, Storm Chaser. Storm Chaser anniversary. Anniversary. Jane Doe slain. What else? Sinclair. Wow. 4/25, 1987. 4/25, 1987. Huh? This means this is not 7/2/1990. So this is 4 October then, and this is 2 July then. Pusing ya sistem tanggalnya. Let's see, 25 April.
Yeah, this date should be good. I'll search through a week or so of microfilm, starting from the date I've written down. Hopefully I can find some useful information on the previous victim.
There must be an article about Jane Doe, right? Someone was killed on that day.
Yes, there we go. I'll have these printed.
Suaranya so nostalgic.
All right, rinse and repeat. I should try to determine the previous microfilm date based on the information in these new pages. That way I can make my way back from article to article, victim to victim, until I get all the way to the first murder. Let's see here.
29 April 1998. Soothsayer burns Jane Doe alive. The infamous Soothsayer has cranked up the heat on his killing spree as the latest victim, young woman in her early 20s, was determined to have been brutally burned alive on Constance Hill. Death occurred on the night of April 25. Due to the state of the remains, Jane Doe's identity has been difficult to ascertain. Despite indication of dental work on the corpse, there were no matching dental record anywhere in the city. So the woman was not local. The lack of struggle could mean that the victim was incapacitated, but the condition of the body gives little clarity on that matter. Picking a public site like this was a risky proposition for the Soothsayer, but he may have banked on the fact that distant witnesses would assume the fire came from the nearby fire pit. Mayor Adams offered this comment, as unpleasant as it is, I must ask you to be patient. Let Edgar Michelle Brown and his team do their job. KPD has my full confidence in this matter, and City Hall stand vigilant to assist in any way we can. For our extensive coverage of the previous victim, see issue 842. This is 845. 842. So issue 25 then. This is 29 April, 26 April then. Okay. Unidentified women estimated to have been 18 years old. Should I take a look, yeah?
I know where
26.
Constance Hill is, but that's a fair distance from the city. Better save it for tomorrow. For now, I'll put Jane Doe on hold and see what I can find about the previous murder victim.
I'm probably going to play the game offline though. Like I'm going to play the game only until 2 AM and I'm going to continue my gameplay offline. 26. This is 845, 44, 43, 42. 26 April.
Worth a shot? Rats. I was hoping to find issue number 842 here. I guess the Sun is not a daily paper. Oh, and Jane Doe died on April 25th to boot, didn't she? That's the day before this. Seems unlikely that the murders were that close.
Aku suka Gear. Tapi kalau dimain di stream, aku nggak tahu apakah bisa selesai dalam waktu cepat karena aku nggak punya jadwal kayaknya. Nanti nggak punya slot, aku nggak bisa selesai. Tapi ini masalahnya kalau nggak diselesain, kayaknya aku nggak bakal inget. Aku suka point and click kayak gini, Gear dan detektif aku juga suka. Makanya aku suka If on a Winter's Night for Traveler 10 jam kalau ngeliat dari finishnya. Ini soalnya ini banyak nyambung-nyambungnya. Jadi kayaknya kalau aku nggak selesaiin nanti aku bakal lupa. Tapi kalau aku selesaiin di stream aku nggak yakin punya jadwal. Kenapa tadi salah ya? Mau dari request kah? Tetap aja nanti masuknya ke Juli. Apa tidak sebanyak aku selesaikan di offline aja ya? Biar cepet dan aku nggak lupa. Karena aku kalau misalnya kelamaan nanti lupa kak. Kenapa tidak betul ya? The Cassidy Sun. This is issue 845. This is issue 842. Oh, your source of weekly news. 845. Sorry, my bad. So this is 845, 44, 43, 42. 4498?
No. I don't think this date I've got written down is good. I can't.
Oh, this is Wednesday. My bad. It's Wednesday. 45, 44, 43, 42. So 8 April then. Salah kak. tanggal dulu Kak.
Yes, this should be the right date. Let's see here.
Paling kayaknya aku hari ini main sehari doang.
Okay,
Sampai
let's have
dia
a look.
tidur. Sampai dia tidur nanti baru aku simpan. Soothsayer staged suicide of prolific deacon. We are sad to report that the third member of our community has been taken up by the so-called Soothsayer, who appears to be Cassidy's first serial killer. The victim's name was Benedict Townsend. Cassidy's own author Deborah Sinclair is making wave as her best-selling novel is slated for a movie adaptation. Debate over reviving the Lone Star? Wade Industries opened new factory amid controversy. Deacon Benedict Townsend, age 51, founded early on April 4 the rectory of the King of Kings Catholic Church. The scenario is eerily similar to that Eric Holloway, the postman who met his demise on that ominous full moon night last month. His death was initially treated as a suicide but later revised to homicide. Gazette bring you the exclusive scoop. This is full moon night last month. How do you know when is the full moon night? This is weekly news.
Okay, I'll make sure to look into that church later and maybe find the address. For now, let's move on to victim number 2.
Victim number 2? Full moon? Oh, 27 then? Let's see.
I'm on the right track with this date, but I think I've got the full moon and the new moon confused.
Oh, so this is symbol for, oh, okay. So this is the full moon then? Let's check. Is that correct?
Yes, this should be the right date. Let's see here.
Okay. Nice. Pintar. Prominent suicide moved into homicide. Initially reported as a suicide, the death of Eric Holloway on March 12 has been officially reclassified by KPD as a homicide. Multiple reliable witnesses have come forward claiming that the victim was pushed off the roof of the building at Full Verdun Street. However, there are no detailed description of the perpetrator, likely due to the limited illumination of the roof area at night. Holloway led a quiet and simple life, working as a mailman for the city, and is said to have been well liked by his peers. However, there are unverified reports of mental health problems related to the death of his fiancée last year. Police sources told us that there are links to the brutal motel stabbing of nurse Rose Taylor on Statehood Day, but were reluctant to share further details on ongoing investigation. Nurse Rose Taylor on Statehood Day? What is this? On Thursday, March 12 at roughly 8 p.m., a 32-year-old man leaped from the roof of a 4-story apartment building at Verdun Street, instantly killing himself on the pavement below, making a grisly spectacle for neighbor and bystander alike. Friend and neighbor claimed that the victim had struggled with death of his girlfriend, but no suicide note has been recovered. Events like this reiterate that mental health and grief counseling should be a national concern, with more resources available for vulnerable people in crisis. Okay. Wait, what do I want to read before? Statehood Day, Rose Taylor.
Eric's address isn't too far away, but I should learn all I can here before I visit any of the crime scenes. Coming up last, the very first victim of the Soothsayer.
Statehood Day. 여기 ya.
Yes, this should be the right date. Let's see here.
Solan is responsible for Motel slaughter. A brutal stabbing occurred at the Azure Sky Motel on February 5, and our sources now say that there is an occult angle to the killing, with some sort of artifact left on the scene. The husband of the victim, briefly detained but released a day later. Law enforcement claimed that he remains a person of interest, however, and confirmed that the cause of death was multiple stab wounds to the chest. But no one saying anything about the name? Oh, never mind.
All right, that should be everything on the microfilms. I think I'll continue to focus on gathering information today and then head to each of the murder sites tomorrow.
Tadi Giri bilang 10 jam finishing. Kalau satu hari itu kira-kira sejam, berarti 10 jam itu mungkin 10 hari dong ya. Pendek ya kalau dikerjakan. Can I save this ya? Oh wow. At least important dates. Okay, after I go home, sleep, I'm going to change to the next game, yeah?
One more thing.
Yes?
No.
Thanks.
Very well.
That and
I can sleep, right? Because she mentioned before we are going to continue this tomorrow. Isn't that what I'm supposed to do?
I wish, but if I don't...
What else to do? My notebook? Follow up on clues?
I think I'll look into that church next, the King of Kings. There was no mention of an address for it in the newspapers.
Look into by Google then. Oh, this is 1998. There are no Google. Sorry. Next task. Look up the address of King blah 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 church. Save. This is Tuesday, 17 June 2025, 1:54 AM. Aduh, tidak muat. June 25, 1:54 AM. Save. BTW aku mau ke WCC bentar. Mau menabung.